Hello everyone and welcome back to Crater City. It's been a little bit of a while. When you last saw me here, I was doing work on the gold farm behind me, which still needs its outer casing, but all of the portals are now fully constructed and lit. And in addition, I have done a little bit of work over here with the iron farm. Oh, and yes, I finished up the nice little terraforming around here. It's now a bit more of a marsh, which is good, because my plan, which I don't think I've revealed for this, is that we'll have a storage area of some description around this kind of space, which is roughly dead center of the complex, which will be shaped like the Skodowsk from Call of Pripyat, if you remember that. It's a very lovely location. Little deep, kind of meaningful thing in my heart. Anyways, we have a light here, and this is directly hooked up to a tripwire. I had to move that dispenser around because I was getting interference from it, and that means that we no longer have to stand in here in order to see if there are any iron golems. We can just use our speed of light checking, which is to say whether this is red or blue, and it will actually be able to tell us from substantial distance whether or not there's any iron golems to harvest. So that's good. But yeah, I did just have to come back, and I realized there was some interference going on when the lava was staying out. So yeah, that means I probably roasted I don't know how much iron in there, but the thing resets itself, so that's fine. It's an automatically replenishing supply, but we have gathered quite a bit of iron, 26 and some change, which is good because we are going to need it for today's job, which is we are performing another refit on the Endless project that is the witch farm over here, which is actually really running out of storage space, so I need to do something quick about that. But there are two problems presently happening with this witch farm, and the first of which is the signals at the back there. Let me just run out here. The signals are presently created by pistons working against each other, pushing out a line of blocks, one of which is a redstone block, thereby creating a signal, and that then tells the piston on this end to shove it back. But there's a problem with that, which is occasionally there's a little bit of lag, and this piston won't fire, so the redstone block stays there, the signal stays on, and the thing just completely jams up. You have to come over here, remove that piece of redstone dust that's sitting just here. Or, alternatively, it just outright misses a signal, because this is not exactly a solid-state system. So, we are going to try and fix that, and that should hopefully remove a substantial chunk of the jamming kind of thing, because what happens is the dispensers in there trigger and they fire out their contents, creating water, which shoves all the mobs off the pad, but if they're not reset, if the water isn't taken back into the dispensers, then the system stops producing mobs, which isn't fantastic even if we are running out of space. So the system that we are going to use requires quite a lot of that iron that we have sitting in that ender chest, because we need to make a sort of a loop of hoppers. We need to make an absolute ton of hoppers to create a loop into which a single dropper per level is going to be ejecting items according to the signals. So what that will create is, firstly, solid-state memory. So if the chunk gets unloaded at the wrong time, the hoppers will contain that item and they will re-engage when the chunk is reloaded. And secondly, it means that it's impossible for for either side really to jam up, to get stuck on, because the hoppers will loop around to redistribute the items back into the dropper. I do love, it's a sort of, I don't know, I guess it's a bit of an underappreciated thing, just having a redstone lamp. Because, like, let's see, what can we tell about the iron farm here? Well, we can tell that it's at one end of its reconstruction cycle, because there's the red light up there, which indicates that the item which controls the access to the sky is in there, which means it's not looping at the moment. We can tell that it has ingredients for the entirety of the splash potions, and we can tell that it's currently got no iron golems standing. So, really, really nice little detail. I don't have to be standing around here at all to know any of that. I just had to be within visual range of that, which is much greater. Don't need audible stuff, don't need fireworks, nothing, just take a glance and I immediately know a lot about it. It's why it's kind of why monitors were invented, I guess, because you can only speak so much. Right. But anyways, it's going to take, at best count, about... Oh, yeah, there is our second problem that we're going to have to deal with. There is a spider on the upper level there, and spiders presently cannot be handled by this system, so we need to sort that out later. But okay, we are going to need approximately 20 hoppers per level, which is why we have so much iron. So, let's get ourselves a lot of chests, so we can turn them into droppers. This isn't unfortunate. This unfortunately isn't any kind of mod pack, so I can't balance these out with a click of a button, and I can't have them be auto-crafted as I need. Could have sworn I heard something there. But on the other hand, I can still do a ton of interesting stuff, and I actually have to search around to find a solution. Probably a few people watching this have not actually been watching this series in full, so if you are one of those people, firstly go back and watch the other episodes, because the server has gone down in what's the word here? Busyness of late, I guess. I've been kind of the only person on for quite a while. But additionally, let's see, I was getting that so I could make a dropper, right? Additionally, you will have missed a great deal of all of the stuff that's been going on, so things like the regatta, and you won't have seen the many iterations of this witch farm. So it's gone through a fair few. It started out as just mobs wandering off, and then it evolved to water streams, and now it's actuated, so it's on and off as needed, or ideally. Yeah, that's another visual thing, is I put these lava here so that I can see very clearly which one's on. And if that doesn't line up with that, then I know that it's stuck on. Speaking of stuck on, one nice little visual example of when this happens. Kind of a pain, kind of a pain. I don't actually have any dirt on me, surprisingly. So, when that happens, you have to come up here, and then you have to reset that. There we go. So that clears that level, but that is... It's not an outstanding amount of, like, manual labor, but it's a degree of manual labor that we can get rid of. So it's a degree of manual labor that I would like to get rid of. So, we pull this back. I can reclaim a little bit of this redstone as well while I'm at it. Now, the actual pulsing system down here can stay. If anything, the system's actually going to be a lot faster. But we do still need a pulsar there. Okay, now I have some dirt, apparently. Just a freak. Okay, so up here, we have two different pulsars. So one of them goes on when this line first gets triggered. Let's say if there's anything in there, creates a redstone pulse. And then it's another they're called edge triggers, which is whenever this then changes, then it creates another pulse. But we are in need of this system to be around about here, I think, so that we can ensure that our dropper appropriately responds. And is it going to point down? No, it isn't. Good. Okay. So now we need to take our hoppers and drive them all the way back, keeping shift held so that we don't just access the inventory, until we reach this line. Okay. A little bit more. Actually, we're at less than half of our population here. That's not fantastic. Doop doop. Doop doop doop. Doop doop doop. Yeah, we're one short, at least. But okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3. Call that 6 and 7. Well, let's go get another 7. So, I'm going to imagine that a lot of people who are watching this have also seen a number of other witch farms, because witch farms aren't a particularly new thing inside of Minecraft. And you're probably wondering, why am I meddling around with this particular design? Why aren't I using a design which is more well-known, more highly engineered? For example, why aren't I using shifting floors? It's a fair comment. Yep, we have a golem. Or an enderman. That's actually luring. I could hit the golem softener. There we go. Off he goes. Don't know where he's gone. Don't need to care. But after a while, yeah. That functions on the same principle back there. There is an edge trigger that does that as well, based on a timer. So, let me see. We need 7 more hoppers. Right. And the reason is that, like, this iron farm right here, this is a very heavily designed and engineered thing, which I was not in control of. I did not engineer this place, I just built it very, very painstakingly. And I did some experimentation to make that. The skeleton farm is fairly bog standard. That mushroom farm hasn't even begun yet, but it is, the basic engineering of it is sound. Let's see, do I have any comparators lying around? No, but I'm going to need one very soon, so let's make one. No sticks. Of course there's no sticks. Of all the things. I actually have a huge backlog of sticks because the witch has produced them. Right. So the answer as to why I'm not using any, like, heavily designed thing, why I'm not using somebody else's design, is because it means I get the chance to design something myself. And honestly, I'm a guy that really enjoys solving puzzles. Doesn't usually really matter all that much what the puzzles are, but I like figuring things out, working them out, finding out. Whoop, we've got some more spawns in there. A creeper. Yeah, generally speaking, this will spawn a not 100%, more like 70, 80 kind of percent, but witch basically. And after that, it doesn't really spawn much else. Occasionally, you'll see like a creeper or a spider or a zombie. The baby zombies are the most annoying things in this system, really. Okay. And there. Okay, so that's one line. And that was a grand total of 27 hoppers and 1 dropper. And now we need to get this to actually send a signal into this redstone line, which is fairly straightforward. All we need is a comparator there, going into a block, and ideally we could do this at eye level, because, you know, that'd be helpful. Up, up, okay. So, comparator there, that is not the right direction. Comparator there, okay. Block there, and another block there, so that we can put a repeater on it. That means we can use any kind of item with any kind of stacking rules to it, and that will happily produce something. And let's also put a half slab there, just so that we don't get spawns on it. I'm reasonably certain things don't spawn on these hoppers, but, you know, let's just be on the safe side of things and put stuff over them anyways, just in case. Also, it's kind of really irritating here. There. Okay. And I'll put something more substantial over there later. You don't really want to put half slabs and such on top of hoppers unless you're intending to grab the stuff on them. But now we just need to put some items into that dropper. And we can call this level done. Okay, so let's see, what do we have a lot of? Well, we can put iron in it, but I'm not going to do that. Let's go with bone meal. 15 bone meal. It should be able to know. So, now the system should be able to, A, survive chunk resetting, so that is to say, if I leave, run away really quickly, and the chunk unloads, and then come back, the redstone a lot of redstone has a tendency to stop, which is why I like using hoppers, because they're solid state. but it will also be able to handle rapid pulsing, because every single pulse, up until there are 15 items in the hopper line there, is going to be accounted for perfectly. So this shouldn't jam due to that. It will still jam if there's something in there that it can't flush out, but now we just need to wait and see if something turns up. And then we can hopefully see it actually in function. And of course the top line is the one that goes first. And of course, come on, give me something on the bottom levels. There we go. So, yeah, there we had a pulse, and there's a longer delay now because it has to filter through all the hoppers, but there it goes. And then there'll be another pulse. There we go. Perfect. So that is solid state now. So, me entering and exiting the chunks is not going to cause any trouble with that. But the next thing that we have to sort out is when spiders turn up, because that exit down this front side is 1 block wide, and spiders also happen to be 1 block tall, which means they jump up and down, triggering the line a lot, which is a bit of a problem, because it then makes the system all massively jammed. They can especially climb onto the sides of the wall and stay on the ceiling, keeping the line triggered and therefore never turning it off, and therefore flooding the spawning pad until they despawn. Which is again a bit of a problem. So, oops, sorry, I keep doing that. A little bad habit of mine is hitting this pop filter. But anyways, the next thing we need to do is sort that out, which I think is actually going to require a little bit of creative world testing and experimentation. So we'll see about that next time. And down here we have apparently a creeper has managed to spawn, because I did a bit more terraforming over here, which does not involve explosions, thank you very much. So this place looks a lot more natural. It's not a dead straight line anymore. I could still use a little bit of work, because it's still a roughly square area. But I can't really put blocks into this perimeter because it will interfere with spawning over there. And why is there a zombie over there? He's spawned on something that he wasn't supposed to spawn on, wasn't he? There he goes. And that's either my arrows or him setting that off. But that's fine. It can handle rapid pulsing quite happily now. I think I'd be better off putting something like a stack in there. I have a lot of dirt. I should just be using that. There we are. There's the dirt just from clearing this area. There's even more over there. Oh, and 6 lamps. But there's another project that I really want to get down to, probably in the episode after this, which is I'm spending a lot of time idling. Like, this produces drops pretty rapidly. The skeleton only really produces drops when you're using it, because it's basically an XP farm at heart. This produces the drops relatively slowly. Do you mind? I'm trying to talk to people. Thank you. Produces them slowly and... Oh, get off. Produces them slowly but regularly, and this produces drops really slowly, because you have to wait for iron golems to spawn, which can be quite a while indeed. So, I spend a lot of time just sort of logged in but not really doing anything, which gave me the idea of I don't have anywhere to actually, do that. So maybe I could build some kind of cryogenics facility around here somewhere, probably somewhere near here, near the Skadovsk, maybe underground, where people can go and they'll be perfectly safely contained in their own little pod or whatever, for however long they want to just be standing around here. That seems like a fun idea, because I don't know if that's been done before. And it's always good to do something new. That's like the bread and the meat and potatoes, or whatever the phrase is, of vanilla Minecraft, is doing stuff interestingly that people haven't thought to try before. And oh boy, this thing is loud. But yep, there's a zombie pigman off to re-meet his maker, and he'll give us a bunch more gold. I have a ton of gold nuggets backed up down there actually recently, because I've just been online for so long trying to get iron to get the hoppers going. But anyways, that is it for today. So from here on Crater City, with the witch farm, catch you all next time. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and or a favorite, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to be notified of future updates. You can also check out the website where most other content is uploaded. That's all for now, catch you later.